About 1 year ago, my doctor told me that I was heading full speed for the wall. And if I wanted a long life, I needed to stop what I was doing. Hi, my name is MATTIS and I'm an engineer. Looking back at my life, it's clear to me now that creativity is a red thread. As a kid, growing up in the north of Sweden, I really liked writing, painting and music. But it was through my love for video games, the worlds, the art, the music and the stories we made that I discovered a passion for technology. When I got my first computer, I took that creativity into making music and programming simple games. And when hearing the dial-up tones connecting to the internet for the first time, my world expanded. I've now built things with my computer for over 25 years. And to me, the computer is the ultimate canvas of creativity, where the ideas I have today can bring value to millions of people tomorrow. But being a dreamer with big ideas means that I'm rarely in the here and now. Over the years, I've learned some methods to handle this, but the by far most effective way I've found is exercise. I discovered early on that sports and physical activity gave me a way to focus. That is why I, for a big part of my life, have tried to understand the mechanics of health. How your exercise and sleep, what you eat, and your mental state is all connected. I've been experimenting with every diet, method, and philosophy, reading everything I could get my hands on. And over the years, I've been quite fit and slightly egg-shaped. I've been fast as the wind and a hulking blob of muscle. But just as 2020 started, before the pandemic, I was in the worst shape of my life. Physically, mentally, and emotionally drained. A shell of my former self. I had been working as a founder and CTO for over 10 years, crunching out 70, 80-hour weeks for years, on almost no vacation. And when I, in the middle of all of that, became a parent, sleep went from too little to almost nothing, and life went from a game of memory to 4-dimensional chess. But I wasn't worried. I had been there many times before during times of intense focus. You cut out sleep first. Sure, no problem. Then exercise. This is just temporary, after all. Then eating well. Ha! Think about the time you save by getting takeaway. Paradoxically, all the things you need to function as a human being are the things you remove when you need to perform your best. I was in constant pain from aching joints and not taking care of old injuries. My body struck with colds and infections that never seemed to let go. And no matter how much I slept, it didn't affect my exhaustion. My mind wasn't fully my own, sometimes going from anger to apathy in minutes. One day, I found myself holding my laughing daughter in my arms, and I felt nothing. I couldn't even smile as she pulled her latest prank on me. In that moment, I felt something snap. Like an old electrical circuit being turned on, realization falling into place. That was the day I went to see my doctor. And honestly, I probably piled a bit too much on the poor guy. But he responded frankly, saying, "You're heading full speed into a depression. And if you want to live a long life, you need to make changes." Coming back home that night, I started to methodically break down each part of my life. I saw how I was living from moment to moment with no structure and no habits. I saw how poorly I was managing my basic physical needs and how I had neglected most of my relationships. And the hardest part to face, I saw the sacrifices my family had made for me to be able to follow my dreams. But wait, what are my dreams? I was stunned when I understood that I didn't even know what my purpose was. I realized that it wasn't really about the long hours or the hard work. What had been slowly killing me was me no longer loving what I committed every day of my life to. I was working against my core beliefs, too far from my true path in life, having forgotten my values. So it was that, just as I was struggling to stay afloat in my own personal crisis, COVID struck. Living with a pandemic has been hard for all of us. Your psychological safety is constantly under attack. Uncertainty of work and health, worrying about family, not getting to spend time with your friends. The heavy loneliness. A lot of us have seen our health decline and our stress levels rise, being expected to perform normally in a situation where very little is normal. Now, listen close. You might not realize it, but you are under a lot of pressure right now. And I want you to know that it's okay to not be okay. If you really look, there are good things to be found. The pandemic has put a spotlight on a lot of ugliness in the world. The inequalities that are built into the systems are more visible than ever. I also see that a lot of us are now thinking on the big questions, like what's actually important in life. It's critical to stop and reflect on where you are in life, how you spend your allotted 24 hours each day. COVID has helped a lot of people to do just that. Don't lose your path like I did. Don't stray too far from what makes you happy. Pay attention to how you feel in this moment. Take this chance to reset and align your course. A pandemic saved my life. I can say that without too much hyperbole. If COVID never happened, I would most likely have kept on fighting from stubbornness and loyalty, and without giving out too much, it's possible that I would not be here today. COVID was a wake-up call long overdue. I eventually left the business I started, and I'm heartbroken. I miss the amazing team and I'm proud of what we built. But every ending is also a new beginning. This is a first step. Well, here we are. It was difficult trying to tell a story like this with a lot of complexity and nuance, and then trying to compress it into a few minutes of video. But I hope this gave you something to think about, and maybe a spark of positivity around all of this. Has COVID helped you redefine or reprioritize things in your life? Let me know. I'd love to hear your story. Looking at the video I just made, I realized I don't say anything about how I'm doing now. And honestly, it's taken quite a bit of time to mentally get to the point where I could make this video. I think that stress is under control, but my physical health is still down in the gutter. Very little has changed since I sat in that doctor's office. And that's part of why I'm doing this YouTube channel. This will be the creative outlet I've been missing for so long. With my next video, I'm starting a series where you and I go on a journey of health, where we find habits that promote sustained health and fitness, a strong mind, and give us the tools we need to achieve our goals in life. I also want to use this channel to build my next few tech products and companies together with you, sharing the stories and experiences as we go along. As I'm posting this, I have 0 views and 0 subscribers because this is my very first YouTube video. Could you tell that something was off? This guy doesn't know what he's doing. This is hard. Getting up on the stage like this does not come naturally to me. I like being alone in my own head. And I stutter, which is a story all of its own. Can you say that? But please give me a running start by liking the video and sending it to a friend who you think would appreciate it. And if you're one of the crazy ones who likes to be early, subscribe if you dare. The world is slowly opening up with the vaccines getting distributed. I even met 2 retired ladies the other day and they gave me the biggest smiles. One of them even offering a hug for some reason. I was walking with my phone, not looking up, so when I saw them, they were quite close. And that lady, she opened her arms so wide with the biggest smile, and I didn't hug her. I smiled and said, "What a lovely day," or something like that. But